I apologize for that. That's the Arrogant Worms with Song Inside My Head, which has probably lodged itself as an earworm in your head. I've been having a terrible one over the last week or so. I keep hearing the theme from The Cleveland Show over and over and over again, and it will not go away. So there are 3 things about music in your brain that might give you pause. Coming up next, a few lurid tales of music, and a few of the organs slightly lower down than the brain. Okay, below the waist, in fact. Hang tight.
More of The Secret History of Rock coming up. Back to The Secret History of Rock with Alan Cross.
I'm sure we're all aware of the 3 major food groups in music: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. All 3 of these things affect the same portions of the brain: the amygdala, the nucleus accumbens, and the cerebellum. All of them are involved in the secretion and regulation of dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone. Now, dopamine is a pretty addictive hormone. Whenever we get a shot to the bloodstream, the body goes, "Hey, this is good. I want more." And that, in a nutshell, is how addiction works. For this next bit, I want to talk about the sorts of things that occur when you mix rock with sex. Seems that you can't have one without the other. Let's begin with this. Did David Bowie ever get it on with Mick Jagger? This is a story that's been around for decades, and it really doesn't seem to want to go away. The origin of this rumor was the Joan Rivers show on May 4th of 1990. Joan's guest that night was Angela Bowie, David's wife between 1970 and 1980. In other words, she was his wife during the biggest and weirdest years of Bowie's career. After 10 years under a gag order, the divorce settlement prevented her from talking about the marriage for the entire decade of the 80s. Angie couldn't wait to talk about what she had seen. On the show that night, she said, quote, "I caught David in bed with Mick Jagger." Yes, they were naked, but that was it for the details. But since Bowie had professed his bisexuality in the early 70s, there was some believability to this. Jagger came out swinging, denying everything. Bowie's lawyer put out a letter that read, "Any implication that there was ever a gay affair between Mick Jagger and David Bowie is an absolute fabrication." Angie backpedaled a bit. The story became, "They were passed out in my bed." And when her autobiography was published in 1993, the story became, "Well, I just assumed they were having sex. I didn't actually have any proof." All this was made even more murky by the rumors that Angie and Mick might have had an affair while she was married to Bowie, hence the Stones song Angie. Or was Angie just really code for David? Well, believe what you want, but then feel free to look up the video for this song and make whatever judgment you see fit.
Okay.